Hey Texas JSAers, my name is Dian Yu, and as many of you already know, I'm running to be your next Texas JSA governor. Currently, I'm a junior at Bel Air High School and the director of CIA. Unfortunately, I'm unable to see all of your beautiful faces at an in-person spring state, but I'm extremely grateful to still have this opportunity to speak to you all online. Whether you've been supporting me from the start of my campaign or just looked at a few of my posts, I'm so happy that I was able to show so many of you guys my ideas for JSA. I want to start with why I got into this organization in the first place. As a freshman in debate, Lucy Dean convinced me to join this club that many debaters at my school were in. As a shy freshman in front of a room of 30 upperclassmen, I spoke at the first thought talk. Rather than judgment, I was met with kindness and respect because everyone was so welcoming. That aspect of JSA, the people and their kindness, is the heart of this organization. That is what drove me to continue to do more. On top of that, my first fall state was amazing. I was able to meet people across the state who are just as dedicated to civic engagement as I was. Afterwards, I knew I had to get more involved in JSA. I reached out to my vice president at the time, Awana Nikiti, and helped plan our GCR chapter con. At the end of the year, I applied for cabinet and became a CIA agent. In my chapter, I became historian. During my sophomore year, I got to work directly with chapter presidents, one of them being our amazing Lieutenant Governor Logan, and learn what they struggle with the most. From that experience, I wanted to continue working with chapters, so I applied for CIA director, and this year I worked closely with my agents to make sure CPs and their chapters were able to maintain engagement throughout this virtual environment. What really led me to run for governor was seeing the dedication from people around me, such as Alexa Zabat, the CP of IdeaQuest, who still puts so much into this organization as a senior. And a big thank you to her for being my campaign manager, along with the rest of my team for helping me craft my platform, which is exactly what I wanted to talk about next. The biggest problem we face in JSA is giving back to the students that are at the heart of it. I address these issues at 3 levels: national, the state, and department. The first is that National JSA is disconnected from the students. A lot of the decisions are made without reaching out to everyday JSAers. The Council of Governors themselves and other student leaders are left out of the decision-making process. With all the money students are paying to be in JSA, there also seems to be no return. Some of my solutions are to make sure COG is unified so that we can get decisions passed with national. I also want to work with other organizations where we can offer more hands-on leadership opportunities for students, such as internships, to bring more value to JSA. Most importantly is emphasizing communication from the students all the way up to the adults of JSA through town halls and forums. The national portion of my platform is super important because as governor, I will make sure to represent all of you at the national level to make sure that JSA does more for you. The next part of my platform tackles the issues at the state level. Over the years, JSA has continued to be an organization that's inequitable with unequal access to many. To attend conventions, JSAers have to shell out hundreds of dollars for fees and transportation. There's also a geographical divide with many events being out of reach for JSAers to attend. One of my solutions is to continue having some online events that are free for everyone to attend, such as Fall One Day or even Winter and Spring One Days, where people who can't afford conventions can still get involved and meet new people. Another is to expand scholarships that tackle other aspects of convention costs, such as transportation or food, once we eventually go back in person. I also wanted to open a new cabinet position, the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusivity, to make sure JSA continues to be welcoming to everyone and free of bigotry or hatred. A few highlights from the department portion of my cabinet is to have more socials throughout the year that makes JSA more fun, such as quiz bowls or trivia nights. I also want to implement monthly Texas JSA debates or thought talks so that JSAers can gain new perspectives from outside of their chapter. I have way more ideas on how I want to revamp every department to make JSA more fun and exciting, as well as tackling our issues with fundraising and communication. My experience on cabinet, along with working with all the directors from Texas and people from outside our state, has allowed me to create actionable plans that will improve JSA. I truly love this organization and believe that whatever happens, Texas JSA will be in great hands. However, I know with my dedication, experience, and ideas that we can take Texas JSA to even greater heights because Yao knows how we need to do better. Vote now. Vote Yao now, y'all. Thank you.
supporters, friends, ladies and gentlemen of Texas JSA, I humbly accept this nomination for Governor of the Texas Junior State. We started this journey in February with a clear action plan for a better and brighter JSA future. If we don't build on the strengths we honed this past year, what kind of future do we make for ourselves? My story begins in my freshman year, as many of our stories do. From Fall State 2019 and 2020 to WinterCon and now Spring State 20 and 21, I've been given the opportunity of a lifetime to meet you all, the people who make our organization great. It's vital to note that the word govern means to guide. A governor is someone respondent to the people by being an empathic listener, sharing power, and crafting teams diverse in opinions, ideas, and backgrounds. Only then can an organization move forward in pursuance of its goals. 2020 was a year of division and crisis. COVID-19 kept us in our homes and away from coming together at in-person conventions. Social issues at home and abroad left many of us bitter towards our fellow Americans. Nothing that begins in such division is likely to end well. We need to ask ourselves, what is our goal? And how do we guide ourselves moving forward into the future? It is our shared vision of civic education and bipartisan activism. We manifest this vision at conventions and in our day-to-day interactions. Luckily, the pandemic has allowed us to expand our online initiatives, from career panels to working with other regions, bringing us closer to what it means for a national JSA. The online JSA year has also reduced convention costs, enabling a more comprehensive range of voices to participate. As your governor, I will continue cutting costs. I will raise $115,000 for the state scholarship fund, and I will expand into schools in Louisiana, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. One of the most frequent questions regarding debate is the security of best speaker ballots. Though the concerns we faced at in-person conventions were not present this year, we must ensure now that they won't arise in the future. If you entrust me as your elected governor, I will work with the best and brightest of our technology agents to create a new JSA voting system. As we gradually move back to in-person, we have a unique opportunity to rekindle the human, face-to-face connectivity we've lost. We will do so through implementing a dedicated ChapterCon season between WinterCon and Spring State, social events between the cabinet and the legislature, and regional activism initiatives. The true heart of JSA is the chapter. JSA cannot survive without you, all here to give it life. Under my action plan, the CIA department will create a new chapter president guide. Mayors and regional officials will conduct frequent town halls, thought talks, and chapter president meetings to keep presidents in the know. Well, the chapter lies at JSA's heart. The cabinet provides the structure to keep our ship afloat. I will conduct a cabinet reshuffle to significantly increase efficiency. Now, as you go out and vote in this election, keep in mind what you want to see as we conduct this great work. JSA must unite with firm leadership overseeing a clear action plan to build a better, brighter JSA future. Remember to keep cool and vote Kyan.
Hi Texas JSA, I'm Dian Yu and I'm thrilled to be running to be your next Texas Lieutenant Governor. The JSA is definitely one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I fell in love with the JSA for its mission to fight political apathy and the drive and passion for politics that each delegate has. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor to make the JSA a more inclusive, accessible, engaging, and connected place for everyone, regardless of chapter size, experience, socioeconomic status, and political stance, to help people better experience the amazing activities, meet incredible delegates, and build the mission the JSA has. I'm the only Lieutenant Governor candidate with direct experience leading the JSA at all 3 levels, executive, cabinet, and chapter, so my platform is uniquely crafted based on the insight I gained from seeing how each branch needs to maximize cooperation and each other's skills to make the JSA a more vibrant place. I walked into my first convention, Fall State 2018, as a nervous, intimidated freshman, not knowing what to expect, and came out inspired and knowing that I found home. After this Fall State, I decided to dedicate my all to get as engaged as possible and make the JSA the best it can be. I immediately applied to JSA summer school at Georgetown, where I studied media and politics and met the most passionate, most amazing people ever, like Shavia Abrasiu, our current Speaker of the House, Michelle Sun, our National Director of Supplementary Programs, and Hunter Hill, our only non-Texas chapter president in Louisiana, which all made that summer one of the best summers of my life. I also applied mid-year to cabinet as a freshman when I became a publicity agent. Fast forward about 2 years, and I now serve as the Gulf Coast Region Mayor, the Texas Deputy Director of Publicity, and the Chapter President of St. John's. As GCR Mayor, I expanded the traditional role to include implementing chapter support systems that facilitated dialogue between all chapter presidents in the GCR and resource guides to help them host more engaging events through recurring meetings, group chats, and social media. I bridged the gap between chapters to unify the GCR, especially because there was a major power imbalance in chapter size and representation, so these smaller and newer chapters like my own often got ignored. However, we now have over triple the amount of members and engagement. They're successfully finding ways to support CPs of all backgrounds, whether that may be making all 3 chapter conventions this year free of cost for better accessibility and providing places for CPs to communicate. I knew that I had to extend this to the entire Texas JSA. Furthermore, as Deputy Director of Publicity, we worked with National JSA to implement new ways to better spread the word with more direct audience engagement. Especially in COVID-19 times, publicity is imperative to getting the word out there, so I know how best to promote JSA events, the backbone of true engagement. From the clear links I saw as leader of the JSA at the executive, cabinet, and chapter levels, my platform is uniquely crafted to see how we can best use the amazing resources and talent from each level of leadership to make the JSA more vibrant. Under my 3-fold platform, the first branch is engagement. We outline equipping CPs with leadership conferences and workshops, recurring advice meetings, resource guides, and group chats to help engage delegates. This also includes prospective leadership workshops led by the current Big Six and a panel so prospective chapter officers and election candidates can be prepared with the insights for leading, making it less intimidating. This also looks like activism initiatives like Spirit Weeks for Action, holiday activities for local communities, and better integration of activism into discussion. The second branch is inclusivity. This includes more accessible conventions through resource guides with suggestions for local convention-friendly environments and free Wi-Fi hotspots for those who lack access. This includes a greater emphasis on bipartisanship and more chill discussion alternatives. The third branch of our platform is connectivity. This looks like a restructured cabinet convention and more frequent multi-department meetings so we can more efficiently work together to accomplish big picture goals. This also looks like more transparency with publicized Senate bills, open meetings, and recap newsletters to bridge a gap between leaders and delegates, a specific task that the Lieutenant Governor is in charge of. If you still can't take my word for it, go check out our amazing endorsements from former Texas Governor Lucy Ding, former Texas Lieutenant Governor Shilpa Gunaganti, former Lieutenant Gubernatorial Chief of Staff Pranav Kanduri, current National Chief of Staff Ella Foes, and so many more amazing people who serve as inspirations for all of us. My platform is specifically designed to create a JSA that's more inclusive, engaging, and connected. Remember, You for you, let's make change together, and you succeed with you. Vote Dian Yu for Lieutenant Governor. Your voice means the world to me. Thank you.
Hey Texas JSA! I'm Charles Howe, the current Director of Debate for Texas JSA and a former chapter president of Jasper High School, and I'm running to be your next Lieutenant Governor. Now, when I first joined JSA, the chapter at my school was really small, and we only had around 4 members. But after I decided that I had a free spring weekend, I decided to attend Spring State. There, when I saw the hundreds of people passionately debating about issues they cared about, as well as engaging with campaigns and activism organizations set up in the hallway, I discovered how much the organization truly was. And on that fateful night, I decided I would be expanding my role within the organization for years to come. The following year, I was selected as chapter president as well as a debate agent in Texas JSA. As chapter president, I made it my mission to expand engagement and excitement within the organization. I expanded my chapter's fall state attendance by 533%, sending more than 16 kids to the organization, and really wanting to dedicate the rest of my time in high school career to the great organization that JSA is. This past year, I was selected as Director of Debate for Texas JSA, where I've helped lead us through complex online debate. In this time, I've innovated Texas JSA debate through the introduction of new debate styles like the Open Presidential Debate and the World Leaders Forum. And I've also led departments of 30+ people in 4+ states within JSA to deliver the most comprehensive online debate experience possible. I'm running to be your next Lieutenant Governor of Texas JSA because I truly believe that my experience is going to make an incredible impact in the organization for years to come. I'm running on a platform based off of my last name, Howe, H-O-U. The first is honesty and transparency. This comes from my time serving as a chapter president and realizing that there was very little way for me to access information regarding how to expand my chapter or regarding cabinet or other crucial information. Hence, I've introduced a variety of policies in my platform aimed to make JSA a less elitist organization, whether it be allocating fundraising money towards candidates and new campaigners who aren't as experienced with the process, to chapter mentorship programs, and publication of more resources on a variety of social media platforms. I have a plan to make JSA more honest, more transparent, and more available to everyone. The second part of my platform centers around outreach and accessibility, and this comes from my time serving as a chapter president of a small school. Essentially, what we're going to do is expand Texas JSA, whether it be out-of-state collaborations or more targeted expansion efforts. I have a variety of plans to make Texas JSA bigger and achieve its full potential. Finally is unprecedented innovation, and that comes from my experience innovating Texas JSA debate, such as creating a new online voting platform as well as new debate styles. Ultimately, if elected Lieutenant Governor, I'm going to innovate Texas JSA's processes, from carrying on online elections to live streaming Spring State speeches, to creating a Texas JSA Discord and Minecraft server. Every change I'm going to make is going to innovate Texas JSA for years to come. Now you might be wondering, why should you vote for Charles Howe as your next Lieutenant Governor? Because obviously the other candidate is great as well. To this, I have a variety of responses. First is my leadership and dedication to the organization. As in regards to leadership, I had to work with 30+ people oftentimes for a variety of conventions, such as Fall One Day, Fall State, WinterCon, and this upcoming Spring State, with several other states including the Pacific Northwest and the MAS, to deliver the best debate experience possible, leading a department and making waves of change. Next is my comprehensive experience expanding small chapters. Not only do I come from an underrepresented region, the Panhandle Metroplex County, and come from a small school, Jasper High School and Plano West High School, I have experience expanding those schools. Trust me, I have what it takes to expand Texas JSA and bring renewed energy and excitement to every single facet of our organization. Finally is my legislative diligence. Just this past spring, I already passed an amendment to the Texas JSA Constitution, more fair in regards to Senate elections. And this gives me perfect qualifications in 2 areas important to lieutenant governors: the elections and the Fair Elections Committee, as well as the Senate. Now, if you can't take my word for it, take the word of dozens of high-ranking officials and local leaders across JSA. For example, I've been endorsed by the National Director of Activism and Debate, as well as a variety of state department leaders, including the directors of convention, expansion, logistics, activism, and much more. Finally, and most importantly, I've been endorsed by regional and local JSAers. For example, from half of the regional officials such as the ACRMA and PMC administrator, to a variety of agents stretching multiple departments. Wherever you look, people have placed their trust in me to make Texas JSA as great as it can be. I hope to gain your trust as your next Lieutenant Governor to make waves in JSA for years to come. I'm ready to do whatever it takes to make JSA better for everyone, whether you're a high-ranking official or an everyday member of an underrepresented chapter. I'm fighting for you.
Hey Texas JSA! My name is Kyan Howe, and I'm a junior at Plano West Senior High School in PMC. I currently serve as your Director of Publicity, and I'm so excited to be running to be your next Texas JSA Speaker of the House. Whether I've talked to you directly or you've just followed my campaign on social media, I'm really grateful for all the support I've gotten so far on my campaign. I'm super sad that I'm not able to meet with y'all or speak to y'all in person like we would do at normal convention. But because we're in an obvious virtual setting, I'll just talk to y'all through this camera instead. So first, a little bit about my JSA journey and experience. I first joined JSA like I imagine a lot of people did. In freshman year, when upperclassmen and friends encouraged me to attend my first chapter meeting at Jasper High School, I immediately fell in love with the organization, from its unique and engaging debates and thought talks to activism initiatives like the Fight Apathy campaign. I knew I had to get more involved, so in sophomore year, I became my chapter's treasurer, and alongside other chapter officers, worked to drastically expand Jasper High School's chapter into the prominent school it is in PMC today. I also joined the Texas JSA cabinet as a publicity agent. Now, as a junior, I serve as a director of publicity, overseeing the largest department in cabinet, as well as responsibilities like social media, the Lone Star, and the website, and much more. These past 3-ish years in JSA have gifted me with valuable experiences and memories, and I want to get even more involved in the organization, and I could do so if elected as Speaker of the House. So there's 2 main reasons why I'm running to be Speaker. First is to give back to this organization that has given me so much already. JSA really sparked my passion into politics and activism starting in freshman year. And to this day, I'm still really into fighting political apathy and civic engagement. I'm also gaining confidence skills and leadership skills through my numerous roles within JSA. And I want to work to strengthen this organization to bring these same valuable experiences to other people. The second reason why I'm running is pretty cliche, the people, but it doesn't make it any less important. Through JSA, I've worked and met with amazing fellow JSAers that I wouldn't have the opportunity to meet otherwise. I've built valuable friendships and connections, and as Speaker, I would not only continue to meet new awesome fellow Texas JSAers, but also strengthen the organization to bring the opportunity to form these connections to other people as well. My experience in JSA, especially as Director of Publicity, has allowed me the opportunity to work with every single department in Cabinet, as well as consistently with state and national leadership. As a result, I have knowledge about every facet and function of Texas JSA, and this has allowed me to craft an extensive platform with reforms on every department in Cabinet as a whole, as well as regional affairs in the House of Representatives. My platform is pretty long, but it can be boiled down to 3 main themes. First is communication and transparency. I want to increase the amount of information available and also resources explaining basically every part of Texas JSA, but especially the Senate and the House of Representatives. The second major theme is engagement, making sure that members stay engaged, are having fun, and will continue to stay in Texas JSA for years to come. And finally is change, strengthening the organization to bring change to Texas JSA for the better, and also maximizing our impact and change on our surrounding communities through activism, for example. So, why should you vote for me, and what will I bring to you if elected as Speaker of the House? I think there's a couple things. First is my extensive experience as a director, allowing me to collaborate with state, national, and national leadership within Cabinet, and I will definitely bring these experience and skills if elected as Speaker of the House as well. The second reason is my dedication and love for JSA. I will certainly bring my hard work and effort if elected as speaker as well. Third, I come from a previously small chapter of Jasper High School, so I understand the struggles of small chapters as well as expansion efforts for them. And finally, I'm willing to represent you and your concerns, because no matter how many ideas I have as a candidate, I'm here to represent all of you Texas JSAers. So feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have any questions, suggestions, or just want to talk. I hope I can count on your support and vote this election season. And thank you so much.
Hi Texas JSA, my name is Rachel Pontes. I'm a junior at Bel Air High School, and I'm so excited to be running for your next Texas JSA Speaker of the House. Over the past few weeks, it's been a pleasure dropping into some of your chapter meetings, hearing from some of you guys, seeing your faces, answering your questions, and sharing a little bit about who I am and what I stand for. Over the next few minutes, I want to delve a little bit deeper into who I am, what I've done for JSA, and what I want the future of JSA to look like. So stick with me while we delve a little bit deeper. So before we delve into some of the specifics, I want to give you guys a little snapshot of who I am and what I'm currently doing for JSA. I currently serve as the Deputy Director of Expansion, and it's been a pleasure over the past 3 years uplifting small chapters from 1 to 2 members to where a lot of you guys are right now. I'm also the Vice President of the Bel Air JSA chapter, and it's been great this year working to include as many small chapters in our meetings as possible to uplift small chapters in the region as a whole, doing our part as one of the biggest chapters in JSA to be as inclusive as possible. Finally, I'm also a member of the House of Representatives, where I've worked to legislate to help ensure Texas JSA is running as smoothly, efficiently, and fairly as possible. So why me? Well, I'm dedicated and proactive, and I'm passionate about making sure that all of the ideas in my platform actually become a reality. My time in expansion is a direct testament to that. I started 2 initiatives while I was in expansion. The first one was the Middle School Expansion Initiative, which was our first time reaching out to middle schoolers and our first partnership with CIA. Essentially, we reach out to 8th graders, give them a little bit of the JSA experience, and directly connect with them to ensure that they join JSA when they join high school. Your chapter doesn't have to do all the recruiting work. We do it for you. The second initiative was the Expansion Contact Form, which was the first time that we had gotten contacts not just from our department members, but from every JSAer across Texas. Every idea in my platform will become a reality. I can promise you that. The second reason is because I've dedicated my time in expansion to uplifting small chapters from 1 to 2 members to really what they are now. My platform, my work in JSA, and my work as the Bel Air JSA Vice President has always been to make sure that smaller chapters are included and are a vital growing member of our JSA community. The third reason is because I've had experience working on a local, regional, state, and national level of JSA. I know this organization, and I know what we have to do to make it better. Finally, let's delve into my platform. My platform is a 9-point plan addressing every facet of JSA, every department, cabinet as a whole, and chapters in general. If you want to learn more about my ideas for JSA, I'd encourage you to go to tinyurl.com/RachelForSpeaker. But before you go, I want to delve into 3 quick ideas that I'm super excited about implementing. The first one is the New Faces Initiative. Essentially, every convention you go to, you'll be paired with another random JSAer, serving to facilitate friendships across the region and a helpline if you ever need one. The second thing is recording sample debates and thought talks. It'll help newer debaters have an example for what debates are supposed to look like, help them gain confidence, help moderators understand what a good moderator is supposed to do, and drive people to our YouTube channel to revitalize the audience there. The third thing I want to spotlight is partnering with political organizations and speakers to offer sponsorships in their name. Convention fees should never be a barrier to experiencing the JSA experience, and these sponsorships can truly make a difference. And that's about it. Thanks for sticking with me. If you want to learn more about me, my platform, or my endorsements, definitely visit my campaign Instagram at Rachel for Speaker or my platform. Thank you so much for being such a welcoming community, and make sure to vote Rachel for Speaker on election days. Thank you.